So welcome everyone to the Thursday evening Satori Family Wellness free Tao Calligraphy Healing Field event evening. So we're very happy that we have some of you join us, but we know that there will be more joining later. But I would just like to remind you who, and if there are some new people that will be watching, to make sure that the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field calligraphies be kept in your hearts and not on your cameras or on the still shot, on your computers. So thank you for respecting our request at this time. So today I would like to introduce to you Dr. Laurie Amuro, who is by profession a clinical psychologist, a licensed psychologist. And I think I have, let me see, I mute. Okay, thank you. There we go. And she works with clients who um, have stress and depression, anxiety, and I know she's going to talk to you about one of the things that I think it's about depression. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful session. But I used to think of Laurie as being a perpetual student, you know, and she would always, even after she graduated, she would always look for some spiritual classes that she would like to, learn more about, and she would always include me. And so here we became um, Reiki masters. I had no idea what Reiki was, but she and I enrolled in that. She invited me to. Then she would enroll me in a shaman class and also like intuitive healing, all of these classes. But I believe that these were like stepping stones to really help enhance her um, sessions as a psychologist. Because when you have a background of the spirituality as well, it really helps. And she is also a master teacher of the Tao Academy and a Tao calligraphy um, teacher, uh, writing teacher. Oh, master teacher. How do I say that? And we're very blessed to have her here on Maui, so she can teach us how to write Tao calligraphy. And she was the first actually uh, calligraphy teacher that was given the authority to sell her calligraphies. So I'm very, very honored to introduce to you our uh, how should I say, our leader for today, our the one that will be doing our session. And I want to introduce my daughter, Laurie. So thank you, Laurie, for joining early enough.
Thank you, Mom, for that introduction. And yeah, so my name is Laura. I am a psychologist, and I also am a co-owner with my mother and my sister of Satori Family Wellness Center, who sponsors these wellness sessions. So I thank all of you for being with us today. And my mother reminded me that, yes, I used to do a lot of different classes, and I think I knew that I loved my profession. I'm still a practicing psychologist. And I always wanted to learn more, like, because I felt that I can take them to a certain place with my profession, but I needed something more, like, how can I move them further? And so I was always on a search to see what else I can do, whether it was professional seminars and workshops or kind of outside the box with some spiritual and cultural uh, types of interventions and modalities and wisdom. And so I'm very grateful for that process because it led me to my current spiritual teacher, Dr. and Master Jigang Sha, who is by profession, I mean, he's trained in many different modalities. He is a Western MD doctor, as well as a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine. And he's also a grand master of many different Asian arts, starting with like Tai Chi, Qigong, Kung Fu, I Ching, Feng Shui, and recently, or in the past several years, maybe over 10 years now, in Shufajiao, which is Tao Calligraphy. And currently, Tao Calligraphy is one of the modalities that he continues to share with the world. And it's one of my great loves and passions. And I had the honor of becoming a Tao calligraphy practitioner as well as a Tao calligraphy teacher. And I have learned how to maybe integrate some of this wisdom into my own clinical practice, because for my clients and students who are open, I really found that it can take their healing or their transformation much further and at an accelerated pace. So thank you for being here today. And I was going to maybe share the topic. One of the areas that I do work a lot in is, people who have some anxiety. We've had some other sessions. So for those of you who missed that, I think we did a couple of sessions the last time I was here on, managing and understanding anxiety and how Tao calligraphy and some techniques can kind of help you with your alleviating some of that anxiety. And hand in hand with anxiety actually is depression. So usually depression and anxiety kind of are like the flip sides of the scale, so to speak. And even if you are not feeling like you are depressed or have depression, we can all use some more joy and, light in our lives, or even have a sense of peace and contentment. So even though we're going through some information, but maybe it can be helpful in you recognizing that maybe you have other people that you might know that may have more serious cases of depression, or maybe for yourself, that maybe you can then feel like there is some hope or some supports that can help you further along. So let me just share my screen, and I'm going to see what I want to present today, since we talked about that. Okay. So I thought we can talk a little bit about transforming depression or sadness, or even preventing. So for some of you who do not feel like you're particularly depressed, you can think about like, well, I can prevent or just move further along my journey of inner peace and inner joy. Okay. And we're also going to talk about how Tao calligraphy writing or Tao calligraphy can support. We will do a meditation in the Tao calligraphy healing field that we have the honor to have here in the island and here in Maui, and some of the next steps for your continued wellness journey. So let's get started. I'm just going to turn off my picture, so hopefully you can see this screen clearly. So when we talk about depression and what is depression, this is the APA, or the American Psychological Association definition. Depression is known to be like a negative affective state ranging from unhappiness and discontent to an extreme feeling of sadness or pessimism, despondency, and it can interfere with your daily life, where maybe you don't want to go out, or it prevents you from, going to work, or taking care of your family, or taking care of your own just basic self-care needs. Like sometimes even bathing, eating can be very difficult. And it may include these various physical, cognitive, and social changes that can also co-occur. including like altered eating or sleeping habits, lack of energy or motivation, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, as well as withdrawal from social activities. And these types of symptoms are symptomatic in a number of mental health disorders. And it doesn't mean to say, I'm not saying that you have one, a mental health disorder, but it can be a range. I mean, it doesn't have to be a clinically diagnosed one, but just kind of knowing where we are can be helpful in moving to greater mental health and mental wellness. And so here is just in terms of, for those of you who are new to what Tao calligraphy is, I've kind of covered some of these aspects in the previous session. So I'll just maybe quickly proceed because I really want to get to more of the practice of Tao calligraphy. But just generally, in Chinese calligraphy can be very helpful, and it's been thought to be therapeutic. And there is a lot of research of how just writing Chinese calligraphy can be helpful. 书法, okay? So there is some research on it about some physiological changes, some perceptual sharpening, and emotional stability. So these just in itself, calligraphy writing can also be helpful for, mental health conditions. So this is a repeat of that. So what is Tao calligraphy? So Tao calligraphy is takes off of the foundation of Chinese calligraphy, and in particular, a certain style of Chinese calligraphy called Yibitsi. And our teacher, Dr. and Master Ji Gangsha, learned it from the sole lineage holder, Professor Li Chuyun, who was over 100 years old at the time that he taught. She taught it to Master Sha and passed along, all of this wisdom. And I wish I had the video of, and maybe one day I'll kind of find, it's a really cool video of she passing along a lot of the wisdom in this really powerful way. And as I mentioned about who Master Sha is, with his lifelong training and mastery of ancient philosophies, because he is a lineage holder, not only of the Ibitsu, and created his own Tao calligraphy, but also with different spiritual traditions, with the line of Buddhism and Taoism, which he's not religious, but he feels all of them are one. So he developed this special oneness writing to bring the essence, frequency, and vibration of this Tao oneness into his calligraphy. So when you have an opportunity to feel and look at his calligraphy, which we will do later on in this session, hopefully you will be able to really feel the frequency and vibration of the calligraphy and how it can be helpful for us. Okay, so this is a bit more about Tao calligraphy, the one-stroke writing, as I mentioned. And this information that I'm talking about right now is in probably the previous session I did. It will be on YouTube, so you can go back to if you need more information. But when we think about Tao calligraphy by either writing or tracing or meditating, we are able to kind of align with the message and the principle of oneness and this positive vibrational field that can bring about balance, rejuvenation, and healing, into our lives. So I'm gonna maybe stop right here, but we'll connect. And I want you to just kind of connect to see where you are this evening. Some of us had very long days or had things come up. So I want you to do a short check-in. So maybe you can close your eyes and just notice how your emotions are, maybe how your body is feeling. So a lot of times, in depression too, we may have a lot of physical pains, And sometimes some people have different concepts of what is depression, that you're just going to be sad, despondent. But a lot of times it might be irritability, pessimism, cynical, being so cynical, and just lack of interest in things, right? And or sometimes we might have like these body pains. It's just painful to do things. So depression can come in many different ways. And so if you are feeling like, that some of these resonate with you, or somebody who may be experiencing them, they might not even think that they themselves may have a more clinical form of depression, but there are resources that can help you. And there does not have to be any stigma attached to it. All of us go through certain periods of sadness or feeling a bit more pessimistic or irritable, right? But there are things that we can do to move forward and maybe bring in more peace and more joy into our lives. So think about where you are, and you can give yourself a number. You can think about it on a joy and peace scale as well. It doesn't have to be like, how depressed am I? It can be right now when you're thinking about how you're feeling. What's your level of joy? What's your level of peace? Okay. Can you connect to that within you? So if yes, yay, we can think of this session of how we can maintain that and even increase some of the areas that maybe you feel happy, but we still feel a little bit, sad about a certain area or worrying about our friend or something like that, right? If you are feeling like, I can't find that peace and joy, well, hopefully this session can be a start of a journey, a wellness journey, to help you bring more of that into your life. Okay. So I want you to just notice where you are and kind of notice where you might be feeling it in your body. A lot of times we do feel sadness, depression in our body. So just allow yourself to just connect without judgment. So you don't have to judge how you feel. You feel what you feel. You are where you are. And one of the things we want to do is just acknowledge it, accept where we are, but it doesn't mean we have to accept that we have to be in that space forever. We can always change and grow and transform. Okay, so if you're feeling just a little bit peace and joy, that's fine. If you can't find it right now, that's okay too. And if you're feeling great, yay, that's okay too, okay, wherever you are. Sometimes there might be feeling like an overjoy too, right? And that may not be very healthy for our bodies either. That could be, too much pressure for our heart. I won't go into the 5 elements teachings this evening, but maybe, stay tuned to some of our sessions. The last week of the month, we usually have Dr. Gina Musetti, who is a acupuncturist, and she is very well versed in with the 5 elements theory, of traditional Chinese medicine. And they have their theory about depression and anxiety, the corresponding organs, and the different emotions. And there's a lot of different practices that my mom does in her wellness classes in the morning that we may do also in our Tao Calligraphy Healing Field membership, our monthly membership program that can support you with that. And we'll give you more information at the end of our time today. So as we check in, no judgment where we are, but I want you to just notice where you're holding it in your body, because we're going to be doing some practices and exercises to kind of help us increase that feeling of peace and joy. Okay, so I'm wondering though, if there is anyone that has a particular concern or feeling that it's pretty prominent within them, and if they do want to share, I'd like to open it up. And we can do some demonstrations of some ways that Tao calligraphy can help. So I do want to give an opportunity to anyone who wants that extra support. But if not, we will do it as a group, and you can, keep things private for yourself and share as accordingly. Okay, so wonderful. More people have joined us. So Tao calligraphy, how can Tao calligraphy help? So just to share, like in my profession, I do teach or share a lot of, I'm a techniques person. Yes, I do allow people to maybe share, hopefully, what they are, what's going on with them. Sometimes though, I feel that when we get into the story and the message of how we are doing and we review that message gets stuck within us, right? And so what a lot of times in like cognitive therapy, what we do is we learn how to think about it differently, how to create a new narrative for ourselves that can change the message. So we're not repeating this negative, depressed, or angry or upset message, right? And we can shift. And when we shift our messages, a lot of times our bodies will feel differently, right? We think differently, we will feel differently. And we can move to receiving more peace and joy in our lives. But sometimes I find that it is very difficult for even ourselves or family members, students, clients to switch, like they want to feel better, but they just can't. They're in where they are. And it can be very challenging. Thank you, Mercedes, for sharing. She mentioned she had a feeling of overjoyed and my body was shaking and having a hard time breathing. Didn't expect that at all. And I tried to do deep breathing. Good. Wonderful, Mercedes. Thank you for sharing. Because sometimes we think, oh, joy is a great thing, but the overjoy too much, it kind of takes a toll on your body. And there is a condition sometimes called manic or bipolar. It used to be called manic depressive, but there is sometimes a period for people who with that condition that they feel this high. They feel so happy and joyful, but it can take a toll on your body. Your heart works hard. So what we're trying, and like she was, and Mercedes mentioned, having a hard time breathing, right? So congratulations, Mercedes, for allowing yourself to maybe calm by doing some deep abdominal breathing, right? So that can be helpful. And so sometimes when the regular techniques that you might learn, like deep breathing, cognitive behavioral type of therapies, are a bit challenging. I do a lot of visualizations and relaxation and meditation. And a lot of times when I come to a standstill with some of my clientele and students, or even myself, when I do processes for myself, I know I need something more. And that more for me is the Tao calligraphy, or a higher level field that can help to release the negative messages that we have to kind of get ourselves back in a calm state. And so I often, I've been blessed that we have the Tao calligraphy healing field. And I think I was one of the first groups of the professionals. We had a lot of mental health professionals who also received it at that time. And there's more who have received it since. And we've been integrating it into our practices to just be another support for our clients and students. And so I'm honored to share it with you today. Many of you here may have experienced it. And maybe if anybody does have any stories to share, welcome to share that as well. But since most of you here on the line, if there is anyone new to these sessions and to Tao calligraphy, you can either privately put in the chat, you can put it in the chat, it just will help me to direct what I would like to share today. Just so I want to make sure that you can ask questions, and that I'm not moving too fast for you. Okay, so let us do a practice. It's already, so I'm just going to go right into the field. There are different types of ways we can use Tao calligraphy. We can write with Tao calligraphy. We can trace Tao calligraphy, and we can meditate in the field. So since it's already about 7:25, and my soul just wants to be in the field, I'm going to have us just be in the field. So let me introduce what the field is. Okay, so we did our baseline, and we're going to do a meditation as well as use the field. So some of you are familiar with these power techniques. And so for our practice today, our body power, you can, it's just special body and hand positions to optimize, healing and transformation. For this practice, you can put one hand on your lower abdomen and one hand on your heart. Okay, heart in the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, the 5 elements theory, is the area of one of the organs for healing depression and anxiety. Okay, that is part of the fire element. Our soul power is our say hello greeting. And basically, it's just about connecting, acknowledging our own heart, soul, heart, mind, and body, and the souls that you would like to support you in your healing and transformation. So we're going to say, dear the Tao calligraphy healing field that we'll connect with. And dear, if you are have any spiritual fathers and mothers that you hold near and dear to your heart, that you believe in, whether it's God or Jesus or a Buddha or ascended master or a saint or angel, connect with those of love and light, and you can ask them to help support you. Please support us in this practice to feel more inner joy, inner peace, to release and transform any feelings of depression or anxiety. For those of you who have come tonight and really wanted to work on a physical condition or another type of situation, relationship or finances, you're feeling maybe down about that, you can put in your own personal request. We're just covering depression today, or feeling more joy and peace for today, but you can adapt this practice to what you want to work on, okay? So don't feel limited to our topic. Mind power is creative visualization, and we can just visualize from the Tao calligraphy field that I'll be connecting us with, and you want to just imagine it 360 degrees around you. Even though you might just see it on your phone or on your computer screen, imagine that it is going 360 degrees around you, above you, below you. And it's coming from all directions, and it's coming into your heart area or the area in your body that you might be feeling that sadness, or that pain, okay, or that discomfort, okay? So you're going to just target in there. And mind power really helps us to activate our brain and allow us to focus on the light, okay? And this can kind of shift our neurochemicals, shift our neural pathways from the depression message to a more light message, or a message of peace, of joy, okay? So mind power. I'm going to add, because I don't have it here, is heart power. I like to include it with the mind power. The heart power is like feeling it. So when you're seeing the light, I want you to feel it. Feel the light of the message that we will be connecting with, either greatest love, unconditional love, or forgiveness that brings inner joy, inner peace, and greatest harmony, which is the secret of success. So I'm going to guide you to that heart power later. Sound power is using sacred sounds that carry high frequency vibration messages. Okay, so I will share probably a mantra that we can use. Breath power. For us beginners, we can just inhale through our nose, bring it down to our lower abdomen and expand. So you want to get to learn how to expand and do abdominal breathing. Just that, like Mercedes mentioned, doing deep breathings to calm her down when she was, in an overjoyous state and feeling her heart racing. So bring it down can kind of calm and ground us. Okay. And you just want to breathe smoothly and evenly, naturally. There's so many different breathing techniques, but Master Shah says that breath power is actually a very advanced technique, right? So just go nice and easy. Don't have to hold your breaths for so long or anything like that, but just whatever you can do, but try to see if you can get it down to your lower abdomen. And I'll also guide you in how you can breathe in the field and bring it into your being, okay? And the Tao calligraphy power is we can trace the pathways of the Tao calligraphies. So for those of you who are familiar with tracing Tao calligraphy and the pathway, you can certainly trace it with your 5 fingers or with your lower abdominal area. So I may or may not guide you through that depending on how the session moves today. Okay, we can just meditate. But for those of you who know how to do it, feel free to go ahead. For the beginners, let's just meditate and I'll teach you how to just focus on the Tao calligraphy and the other power techniques. So each of these power techniques can be very valuable in itself, but combining all together, it's it's much more powerful. And together with the Tao calligraphies, it just kind of boosts the experience. Okay. So this is a Dai calligraphy, Greatest Love. And this one is in the book. We have a book called Tao Calligraphy to Heal and Transform Depression and Anxiety. So that's this book. And it has a wonderful calligraphy here. And it has that Dai, Greatest Love calligraphy in this book that you can trace. So for those of you who may know of people who have, or you yourself may be wanting to prevent or even want to heal from depression and anxiety, this is a great book. And it has some videos too that you can go into, where you can go to a website and then it has some videos that you can follow along with Master Shah. I guess I could have, and I think my mom often does many of the practices in her wellness sessions. So, and also in the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field monthly sessions that you can attend to learn those. Okay, so let's just introduce the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field. Okay, let's get back. Sorry, I lost my screen. Okay. Okay. Let's get back in. Okay. So you can kind of close your eyes. We talk about the field as having the 10 greatest qualities. The field that we have, it has Da'ai, greatest love, Da Kuan Shu, greatest forgiveness, and Da He She, greatest harmony. But each of the calligraphies, no matter what the message is, has all of these 10 greatest qualities. Okay. So many of you are familiar with many of the different qualities of either love, forgiveness, compassion, greatest light, humility, harmony, flourishing, gratitude, service, and enlightenment. So these are very high level positive messages that can have a very profound and healing effect when we chant them. So that will be our soul power. This is the universal law of Shen Qi Jing that we talk about in terms of everyone and everything has Shen Qi Jing. And it follows this soul, heart, mind energy and matter. So when we connect with the Tao Calligraphy healing field, it is a warehouse of this positive information here that can lead to healing, transformation, flourishing in every aspect of life. So we're starting from here, and go into our heart, into our mind to process some of the messages, because those of us, those who suffer from depression, they hold a lot of negative messages, and the way their thinking is a lot of times, it tends to be pessimistic and on the negative side, and they can kind of get themselves into a downward spiral. So when we connecting with these positive messages, it can help us to remove those negative messages, make it easier for us to be happier and more joyous and healthier. Okay, so let us go into this field. I think I mentioned the last time of, one client who allowed me to share her story that, had suicidal thoughts every day of her life for many, many, many years since she was young. And she just had to learn how to live with it. And as I did a Tao Calligraphy lesson when she was open to the Tao Calligraphy healing technique, that was the first time, that first week when I checked back, she didn't have her usual suicidal thoughts. And so for me, that was like, wow, even for me, I was quite surprised as the power that the Tao Calligraphy can have. And so if you open your heart to the field and the message it can bring in, you too could have, we never do any guarantees, but you have the opportunity to relieve some of these negative messages. So let's get started. And we connected with the Tao Calligraphy healing field. We said hello. Now let's say hello to your own soul, heart, mind, and body so you can be receptive. So dear my own soul, heart, mind, and body, and give it love. I love you. Even if this is not comfortable to say or you're not used to saying it, the more you say it, the easier it'll get. I love you. I honor you. I appreciate you. How many times do we tell our own soul, heart, mind, and body that we love, honor, and appreciate it? It might seem very different right now, but just follow along the best that you can. And let's tell it, we have the power to heal and transform. We have the power to bring greater messages of joy and peace into our lives. You can do it. Do a good job. So we're talking to ourselves kindly and compassionately, encouragingly, like a great coach would talk to us, right? And know and believe in us and say, you can do it. Let's do it. Okay. So let yourself get that message, and particularly your heart. Our heart is a receiver in Tao science. So we really want to open our hearts to that. Okay. Okay. So, and okay, so thank you for sharing. So let's do this practice and then let's see from there. Thank you. So I want you to know, connect with the field and imagine from these messages of Da'ai, greatest love, greatest forgiveness, and greatest harmony. Again, 360 degrees, and just imagine that its love and light is coming into the area. You can focus it on your heart or whatever area you're feeling it. And imagine this light, this joy, and this peace is coming in to the area that you need. And if you are feeling some discomfort, pain, depression, or anxiety, or negativity, notice the color, the shape, and size of it, like how it feels in your body. So usually every morning I do a check-in and I kind of see where I am, how's my body feeling? How's my mood and my heart? And if I'm feeling like I woke up and I'm feeling a bit tired or fatigued or a little bit, then I connect with my calligraphies that I have in my home, and I just bring in this love and light. So feel this love and light coming in, and feel this message of inner joy, inner peace, love, peace, and harmony coming in. This piece of greatest unconditional love. There's no judgment. We don't have to judge how we feel, judge who we are. We're just going to have this beautiful unconditional love and light come in. This message of inner joy, inner peace. And this message of greatest harmony. As we harmonize our soul, heart, mind, and body, we create harmony within our body, our elements. We can feel more peaceful, calmer, joyous. This is a secret of success, greatest harmony, right? Harmonizing our bodies, our minds, our hearts. If you're dealing with relationship challenges that's causing some unrest, some sadness or irritation, you can notice, right? When you're not harmonized with another person, you can feel disconnected and these negative emotions can come up, right? So just you can notice that in your body. Maybe even like when you're not harmonized with finances and you're feeling depressed about the state of your financial wellness, your finances, you can probably feel it in your body. Perhaps we can change and feel a sense of peace, or re-perceive the situation, come to a more harmonious relationship with our finances, kind of trusting that we can move forward to greater financial wellness, social wellness, to ease our depression, anxiety, to joy, to compassion, to peace. Just feel this light coming in. Breathe in through your nose. Imagine the field. Breathe in the light of the field. Bring it down into the area that you're wanting. And you can just say, we're going to start with greatest love. Da'ai, greatest love. Melts all blockages, purifies our heart and soul. But you can just say Da'ai or greatest love, greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. And imagine the color, the light, that greatest love. This is the calligraphy in the middle. And it's radiating to you. Greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. Greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. Da'ai, da'ai, da'ai. Greatest love, greatest love. For those of you who might feel like you wanted to trace the calligraphy, when you're tracing, also still just connect with the message. And as you're connecting and tracing it, you might feel this activation of the field coming to your heart area, or the area that you need. Greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. Greatest love, greatest love, greatest love. And usually it's good to just stay with one calligraphy. But for today, I want to just have you experience the different calligraphies, say hello to them, and notice how each might feel a little bit different. So the one to our right is greatest forgiveness, Da Huan Shu. I don't know if you can see my arrow, this one here. And greatest forgiveness brings inner joy, inner peace. It brings love, peace, and harmony. So the wisdom is that of the sacred phrases is I forgive you, you forgive me, bring love, peace, and harmony. Bring love, peace, and harmony. And feel greatest forgiveness. I forgive you, you forgive me, bring love, peace, and harmony. So if you have relationship things, it could be that. Or we can just feel like, if there's anything to a forgiveness practice, if there's anything I have done that has created some discomfort, disharmony, depressed messages, anxiety, or pain and suffering to others, on behalf of myself and my ancestors, we deeply apologize. Please forgive us. And we forgive others who may have hurt us. And we want to open our hearts to forgive unconditionally, to no longer carry the negative messages, the hurt, the pain, the grief, the anger. We can release the negative patterns. Also forgiving yourself. Sometimes we are very hard on ourselves. We have a very self-critical and judging voice inside our heads. Sometimes we may tell us things about ourselves that does not make us feel good about ourselves. And for those of you who had a hard time saying, I love you, honor you, and appreciate you to yourself, your soul, heart, mind, and body, pay attention to self-forgiveness, because maybe you might be not saying loving, kind, honoring, respectful messages to yourself. Okay. And we're not judging, because most of us are our worst critics, but we can maybe be a bit more compassionate and kind and forgiving. So feel the light of greatest forgiveness that brings inner joy, inner peace, brings love, peace, and harmony. So feel from Da Kuan Shu, greatest forgiveness, the joy and the peace coming into your heart, opening up, filling your heart. Even if you had a thought of joy and peace in your heart that you said at our check-in, imagine that more of that joy, peace, light is coming into your heart. Feel it grow and expand within you. If you're feeling the inner overjoy, feel that it is changing or transforming the quality of joy to a balanced joy and peace and calmness. So your body is regulated, and you can feel calmer, okay, and balanced. Okay, so just bring Da Kuan Shu, or greatest forgiveness, brings inner joy, inner peace. Greatest forgiveness brings inner joy, inner peace. Greatest forgiveness, Da Kuan Shu, Da Kuan Shu, Da Kuan Shu. And that is your mantra. Da Kuan Shu, Da Kuan Shu, Da Kuan Shu, Da Kuan Shu, Da Kuan Shu. Greatest forgiveness, greatest forgiveness, greatest forgiveness. Or you can just be very simple. Light, 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 light. The light from the calligraphies, and just use light. I remember hearing Master Shah in a radio interview, and he said, what is a great mantra? They asked, and he was light. And I love that. It's so simple. Light, 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 light. Just feel light, 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 coming into bringing inner joy, inner peace into that part, especially that felt maybe discomfort. Okay? We're transforming the message. And you might feel some pains or some things that's wanting to come out. That's a sign that things are shifting and happening. So continue to bring that light, 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 light. Inner joy, inner peace, inner joy, inner peace. Okay. So thank you to Da'ai, Da Kuan Shu. The last one is Da He She, greatest harmony, and it's to our left. And this one here. And greatest harmony, it's 3 with the same heart, has the power to cut gold, the secret of success, meaning there is strength in harmony. So think that everything is harmonizing within us, and we're going to bring the message of greatest harmony. So feel the greatest harmony calligraphy. You might notice it might feel a little different than the other two. This is how we can develop our sensitivities, our spiritual channels, for those of you who are open, as we connect with the different calligraphies. Da He She, greatest harmony, secret of success, to feel more joy and peace in my life. So greatest harmony, greatest harmony, greatest harmony, greatest harmony, greatest harmony. Da Hershey, da Hershey, da Hershey. Okay, we can still say just light, 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 but feel the light coming right now from Da Hershey, greatest harmony. Light, 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 light. Yeah, greatest harmony coming in. Continue to feel greatest harmony, secret of success, coming into our bodies. Again, really feel, use your heart power to feel and imagine, right? You can imagine the light coming in. Now feel the light, like, oh, this pure, positive light, very harmonious, peaceful, loving, right? Connecting us, harmonizing your emotions, harmonizing whatever is challenging you. So feel it in your heart. Feel that message of greatest harmony coming in to your heart or the area of your body that needs that support. Light, 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 light. Da Hershey, Da Hershey, Da Hershey, or greatest harmony, greatest harmony, greatest harmony. Light, 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 light. I'm going to have you for a few moments choose whatever the field is there, but you might have felt something different from each of the calligraphy. Okay, maybe you needed a bit more of the greatest love, opening your heart, purifying your heart. Okay, maybe you needed the greatest forgiveness, Shu. Go deeper into your forgiveness to bring inner joy, inner peace, to bring more love, peace, and harmony within your soul, heart, mind, and body. You might have resonated a bit more today with greatest harmony, secret of success, trying to harmonize things. Okay? Whichever one is perfect, there's no judgment, there's no one that is better than the other. They're all equally powerful, but each one may have its specialties. So you can, I allowed you opportunity to connect with each one and see which one you resonated with today and that you might want to bring in that message a bit more of for today's session. And I'm just going to have you do it for a couple of minutes and just feel the light coming in. I'm going to have you breathe in from that calligraphy, that message, through your nose. Breathe it in. Let it go down through your center part of your body to your heart area. And I'm going to have you go all the way down to your lower abdomen. And we're going to imagine you have a light ball in your lower abdomen. And you're going to condense that light, this pure light of the field. Inhale, greatest love, concentrate, greatest love. Exhale, instead of just radiating it outside of you, you can just have it radiate throughout your body, but the core and you're keeping the concentration in your lower abdomen. Okay. Inhale, greatest forgiveness brings inner joy, inner peace in your lower abdomen. Exhale, concentrate that light, keeping that message of greatest forgiveness within you that brings inner joy, inner peace. And lastly, let's do our last breath. Breathe in. Greatest harmony. Secret of success. Bring it into our lower abdomen. Hold that message that we can be successful in feeling more joyous and peaceful, in resolving any issues that our stressors we might have. Bring in the message of greatest harmony. And we'll say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. I just want to have you just check in to see how you are feeling. Right. And if there's anyone who wants to share, feel free to write in the chat. And one of the secrets that Master Sha has really been saying about sharing is that even though we might be shy to share, we don't know what to say, even gratitude to the message to the field or how you are. And even if you're not feeling better, that's good for us to know, because for those of you, sometimes the field purifies, right? So if you do have some high level of blockages or a higher frequency of negative information, that it takes some time for the healing and transformation to occur. So if you are needing more support, letting us know and we can follow up with you. So feel free to share how you're feeling at this moment. Check into where you felt that feeling of joy and peace, where we did our initial check-in for those of you who were there at that time when we did our baseline, and see if it grew a little bit, and maybe you can just make a comment, yes, it did, or about the same, or nope, I'm feeling a little bit more emotional or whatnot. Whatever it is, feel free to share. And and while you're doing that, I'm just going to close up because we just have a few minutes. We did that. Is that for your wellness journey, continue to come back, because this is only a introduction, right? So come back to our wellness sessions on Thursdays. We do have also complimentary sessions with the Love, Peace, Harmony field, my mother's wellness sessions. And if you really want to take your healing and transformation to the next level, we do have our monthly sessions. It has a very, very generous honoring rate, a fee, but you get to come into the field 3 times a week to really cleanse yourself of the negative information that sometimes we generate and pick up throughout the day. And we get a chance to bring in more of these messages of peace and joy, of love and light. And so you can kind of contain, or you can maintain or increase that peace and joy within your being, or help to heal a certain condition that you might have. You might also want to seek support. There are some individual we do have individual or group programs that can help you progress further on your wellness journey. So if you are interested, if you have a Satori individual wellness program, you can contact us text us or call us at Satori Family Wellness, or go to our website. It's below. Here are some opportunities. I didn't get to introduce the Tao Calligraphy writing, but for me, that is one way that when I pick up that brush and it's like I'm stroking away some of my challenges. And even when I'm really tired and I pick it up, I can get energized through this writing. So if you're interested in writing, we have our June Write into Wellness series happening now, but we will have a new one starting in July as well. We have our group wellness program that I mentioned with the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field, our individual wellness program, as I mentioned, and the website to get more information. I did want to mention this, and I wanted to play the video, but I don't have time to do that. But if you do know of anyone who may have depression, and a diagnosed depression, so they would need to have been diagnosed by a provider, But if you or someone that you know of falls into this category, Satori is also very honored to also volunteer and participate in to serve with the Shah Research Foundation with the Tao Calligraphy research. Yeah, on depression, and you get a chance to participate and be led in to practices as well as receive these special services that have actually high honoring fees, and you get that as part of participation in the program if you qualify. So shahresearchfoundation.com, that you can learn more about that. Okay. And there's also opportunities of like the Tao song, touch the button, that we have that link there as well. So thank you everyone for joining. As we end, Mercedes mentioned, I feel better that I can write Tao calligraphy as one of the tools and refuge to calm me down. Wonderful, Mercedes, since she has been in several of the classes and other workshops. It's a wonderful one. Thank you for sharing. So thank you everyone else for joining. And if you didn't get a chance to share, we welcome your testimonies or your, how you're doing. If you are not doing so well, after this practice, the sharing is also to check in. Please let us know. Feel free to contact us, because sometimes you might need a little bit more support to kind of help stabilize you, because the field can be very powerful for people who are not as familiar, and can activate some things. And usually you might need more time to have it processed through. Okay, so thank you everyone. Wendy mentioned, I really enjoyed this self-reflective healing session. I find that my mind is much quieter and I'm feeling very relaxed. Thank you so much to Master Sha, the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field, Laurie, and the Satori Family Wellness. So grateful. Thank you, Wendy, for sharing. I appreciate you joining. Thank you, Mom, for being the host. Thank you, Amy, Auntie Betty, Brian, Emmy, Leah, Mercedes, Tamara, Wendy, and Marlene. Thank you so much for joining. So have a wonderful rest of your evening and week. Aloha. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Love you all.
Thank you. Love you all.
Bye.
Thank you. Love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lori.